Hi, everybody, and welcome to Pack at the Track. Dan Illman along with Harvey Pack. We've got two graded stakes races at Saratoga on Saturday. Harvey, the Alabama's a good race. Lake Placid, not so much.
Well, the grass race is a joke. It's a typical Saratoga joke. They're giving money away. It's not a grade one, but they're giving money away to the same people, the usual suspects. We have two by Gray Emotion, one from Mark Cassie, and one, of course, from Chad Brown. Total field six, and they're giving out 300,000. It's not fair. It really isn't. But the Alabama is a good race.
The Alabama's a really good race. So competitive. You've got two for Bill Mott. Jimmy Jerkins has got the Queen Split winner in Holy Helena. Mark Cassie's got a good one in Salty. And Brian Lynch is the morning line favorite in Unchained Melody. Handicapper could go 4 or 5 different ways.
That's correct, and that'll be good for you because last week...
No. Last week it was an act of God. Torrential rain 30 minutes before my daily double. My horse, Awesome Patriot. You know, Harvey, I don't like to make excuses. But my horse, Awesome Patriot, just the minute it started to rain, he wanted to go home. He wanted to go to Chicken Hattie's, and he did not want to race in the 4-star Dave, and that cost me. What are you going to do?
Yes, but one of your horses, by virtue of the rain, went off a heavy favorite. He didn't win.
He didn't win either, did he? No. But
he had a perfect day. It's another perfect day. Well, we're out to get the public once more. And I'm not going to let you do the Lake Placid because it's the usual suspects. 2 by Motion, 1 by Chad, and 1 by Mark Cassie. Field of 6, 4 taken. However, we will start with the Alabama, and we'll end with a race that's always great if they don't take it off the turf. If they take it off the turf, you're forgiven everything. But when it's a maiden special on the turf, it's usually a lot of fun and pretty good for handicapping using pedigree as your guide. And I'd like to give one of those to the people. However, if it's taken off the turf, skip it. Go eat. Anyway, let's start with the Alabama. It is a good Alabama. I've heard little Andy has to shill all week. But when he shills and he's right, he's good at it. He keeps saying it's a great Alabama, the best, one of the best he's ever seen, and I agree with him. Very competitive, good sized field. I still see umbrellas up at Saratoga, and as you know, we do this on Friday. But somebody did say the dirt track is pretty good, probably be fast by the end of the day, so we don't have to worry about the Alabama at the moment. So who do you like?
I like Bill Mott. He's got 2. I'm going with 2 deep with Bill Mott's horses. He's got Elate, the number 7. He's got Lockdown, the number 4. Elate started her career, and she was supposed to be the bee's knees, Harvey. She won by open lengths in her debut. People were talking her up like a Kentucky Oaks filly, and she sputtered in starts 2 and 3 and 4, and it looked like she was never going to get back on the beam. But Mott's such a great trainer. He took his time with her, and we saw last time out up at Saratoga that she might be coming back into her own. She caught a pretty good 3-year-old filly in Abel Tasman, the best 3-year-old filly in the country. She was down on the inside, herded down towards the rail late, kind of uncomfortable last quarter mile for a late. It was a good effort for her. I think she's coming into her own. And then you've got Lockdown. And just look, 5 bullet workouts, Harvey, leading up to this race. This filly showed some speed earlier in her career. I think Manny Franco's got to put the pedal to the metal going out of the gate and make Joel Rosario next door on Unchained Melody make a decision. Make him take back. I think Lockdown's going to show a lot of speed. In her last race at Belmont, where she got beat by Unchained Melody, she stumbled at the start, was 5 wide on the turn. It's a good performance for her. I think she gets lost in the shuffle a little bit in the wagering. So I want the 2 Mott horses and decent prices on the morning line.
Well, I have to say something. It's good analysis. It's really remarkable that you have failed 8 years in a row. No,
but I fake it well, don't I?
Yes, you do. Well, that's part of handicapping, which we'll get to in a moment. We're talking about off the turf. One of my good friends when I was doing the Paddock Club was Russ Harris, the dean of the handicappers, Daily News, major celebrity in New York racing, and he did the Paddock Club with me every week at Saratoga, and I was very fond of him. And when they took a race off the turf, he would get furious because in those days they handicapped several days in advance, 48-hour entries and all that, and he used to say, why can't they do something intelligent like baseball does? Why can't they put a tarp on the turf course? And I looked down and I said, Russ, that tarp would have to be over a mile long. And he said, well, it can be done. Baseball can do it. Make it safe. Make it possible for people like me to pick horses. I said, I think they'd rather have them taken off, but it's a good idea. I'll pass it on to anyone I meet. And then his second idea was to make a tunnel. Then they run under a tunnel, the whole turf. He was absolutely furious about that, but he was one of my favorite people, and I remember him fondly. Particularly, I used to take everyone who did the Paddock Club to dinner. This gave me and my wife an opportunity to go out and charge it to the track. And I took Russ and his wife to a lovely restaurant in town, one of the best. And the waiter came over and took his order, and Russ said, "Can I have potatoes with that?" Mm-hmm. And the waiter said, "No, sir, we only serve rice." And Russ looked at him and said, "Who won the war? We won the war. Put potatoes on the menu." And in the future, I didn't take him back to that restaurant.
For more stories from Harvey, check out his book, Pack at the Track, May the Horse Be With You on DRF.com. I've read it 12 times. I know it forwards and backwards. It is absolutely well worth it. Race number 10 is one of these Saratoga special races. Maiden special weight, lot of pedigree. And Harvey, our good, close personal friend, Mike Beer, got a tip on this horse for me. Get ready for this? Star Maven, 30-1 on the morning line, is Mike Beer's best bet of the day in Saturday's daily racing form. And we watched a couple of his trips. He had to make a case because on paper he's a bit of a reach. But this horse in the Gulfstream race, very, very wide, only got beat 2 3/4 lengths by a couple of nice horses from Chad Brown, Proctor's Ledge, 2 starts back beater. We'll see Proctor's Ledge in that Turf Stakes race, the Lake Placid. Last time out, a trip that didn't work out, sort of in and among in a race that was dominated up front. Mike likes this horse a lot. This horse cost a lot of money, $200,000 as a yearling. His best of the day, 30-1 on the morning line. So I got to throw him in there in our Pack at the Track Daily Double. And then, for the chalkers out there, you've got a Todd Pletcher, number 1 Assertive, who's stretching out to a mile. This is a horse that's got good tactical speed, and I just think John Velasquez is going to try to put this horse right on the front end or sit second, and if the closers aren't coming, Assertive's going to be in a great spot in the lane. So 1 short price and 1 big balloon special, the 1 Assertive and the 6 Star Maven.
Well, Assertive has tremendous turf pedigree, but he didn't bring a lot of money. He brought 150. That's not a lot, and he wasn't bought back. I always get suspicious of that. As for Star Maven, I stand in awe of Mike Beer. I really do, because in the old days, if you got a tip like that, you didn't put it in as your best bet in the paper. You didn't do that. And handicappers were, your ego conquers everything. If little Andy likes a 50-1 shot, he's never going to bury it, because his ego wouldn't let him. He'd rather give it to you than win a big score. But this is very good. I respect Mike Beer for this, and I'll be watching it lose.
Well, there we have it. Hopefully Assertive might be able then to dig us out of the hole just a little bit. 5-2, very logical for Todd Pletcher. Hopefully the weather holds out. It was raining very heavily up at the Spa Friday morning. Couldn't get the tarp out in time, apparently, because they're off the turf. Hopefully we get these races in on a fast track.